Along the Gulf Coast, where fields stretch for miles, the biggest threat to farmers isn't storms or drought. It's the relentless herds of wild hogs. They tear up crops, attack livestock, and threaten the lives and livelihoods of hundreds of families. Today, we're riding with John's hunting team, people who treat land protection as a responsibility, not a hobby. Out here, every shot isn't just skill. It's an act of preserving a community's way of life. The moment we step into the tall grass, the dogs are released to pick up fresh tracks. Before kicking the ATV into high gear, John checks the wind, one of the most crucial steps to avoid giving away our position. Freshly torn up soil shows the hogs just left this area. Once he confirms a clean backstop and a safe firing lane, John takes the first shot, exactly by wildlife management guidelines. The team quickly widens the sweep across the field, relying on deep knowledge of hog behavior and their predictable travel routes. Every step John takes has one purpose: protect the farmer's harvest. The wind shifts suddenly, the worst thing that can happen when approaching an animal with a powerful sense of smell. John immediately pivots right, using the wind to regain the element of surprise. Through the scope, the herd appears clearly within control. Taking the shot at just the right moment doesn't just reduce crop damage, it forces the herd to scatter, making the entire area easier for the team to manage. A perfect example of smart population control, not just individual hunting. The hogs funnel right into a natural choke point the team predicted earlier. Mike is already in position, using the terrain to his advantage. When a hog charges through, all he needs is one decisive moment. This isn't something you learn from a book. It comes from experience, reading the land, and staying calm under pressure. If you want to see more moments like this, don't forget to like, share, and drop a comment below. A radio call crackles in from the east. Hog group here needs support ASAP. John immediately orders the team to maintain safe distance and check the backdrop to ensure no homes are near the firing path. Within minutes, the situation is under control. Every shot is within Texas wildlife management law and strict safety protocols. While John handles the front, a lone hog bursts out from the left side. James instantly moves to a 45-degree angle, the ideal spot to watch both the run path and the escape line while keeping a safe backstop. His quick reflexes stop the hog before it can scatter into nearby farmland. This kind of skill only comes from hundreds of hours in the field, where every second can mean the difference between safety and disaster. As the hunt nears its end, James spots a large hog climbing a hill at over 200 yards. Far from most people, but not for a marksman who knows how to read the wind, dial the scope, and control his breathing. This isn't just skill, it's experience, composure, and a deep understanding of wild hog behavior. These are the things that protect the land that feeds so many families. Here along the Gulf Coast, protecting the crops means protecting the entire community. And every time the hogs return. So will the hunting team, not for sport, but to safeguard the land, the environment, and the peace of the people who live here. If you want to follow more real-world missions where skill, discipline, and responsibility come together, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.
We are standing in Florida, a tropical paradise, but also the battleground of a silent war. Behind its beauty lies a serious problem: wild boars. These animals aren't native, they're an invasive species. Each year, these wild boars cause billions of dollars in damage, destroying crops and wreaking havoc on farmland. Today's location is a swampy area with pine forests in central Florida, where reports say wild boar populations are dense, and there are even a few monsters among them. Our mission? Reduce the damage. Follow us closely. This is going to be an unforgettable hunt. We quickly set up our elevated observation blind, a tactic that gave us a commanding view and the element of surprise. Immediately, two audacious wild boars raiding our stored supplies below came into sight. I squeezed the trigger as soon as I confirmed the primary target, dropping the first boar instantly. The second one panicked and tried to flee, but it was too late to escape far. I regained my composure, took careful aim, and took it down on the spot. This double kill marked a resounding first victory for the team, giving us the momentum to carry on. We continued moving cautiously through the area, edging closer to the deep forest. Suddenly, a massive herd of wild boars appeared, numbering in the dozens. It seemed that the boar population had exploded throughout Florida. This was a golden opportunity to strike decisively. I held my breath, focused on the largest boar in the herd, and with full concentration on my rifle, I took the shot. The boar dropped instantly, sending the rest of the herd scattering in all directions. The team swiftly moved into action, shifting to single target tracking, ensuring that no threat escaped. Without delay, my teammate Kevin spotted a group of 3 wild boars in the distance. Quickly, he implemented a long-range shooting strategy, dispersing and positioning himself prone for maximum stability. He locked on to the lead boar, squeezed the trigger decisively, and took it down with precision. The shot caused the remaining boars to scatter in panic, setting us up perfectly for the next phase of our hunt. After the herd scattered, we quickly pinpointed the next target, a boar trying to hide in the brush. I reloaded my rifle, focused intently, and without wasting time, fired a clean shot. The boar fell instantly, neutralized on the spot. By the afternoon, the search became more urgent as daylight began to fade. I spotted a large boar moving in the distance. I didn't shoot right away. Instead, I silently crouched, waiting patiently for the boar to come into optimal range. When it finally stopped, I took the shot, and the boar dropped immediately. This victory proved the value of patience, even in the final moments of the hunt. As dusk fell, we began to make our way back along the trail. Unexpectedly, from the edge of the forest, through the rotting trees, a final target came into view. Without hesitation, I quickly reloaded my rifle, focused intently, and made the final shot. The last shot rang out, bringing our hunting journey to a perfect close. The final shot ended the day's hunt, sealing it with success. We carefully gathered the trophies and used specialized vehicles to transport them. Every part of the hunt and harvest was done in full compliance with US wildlife laws. We left the area feeling a deep sense of satisfaction. What do you think was the most intense shot? Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. In Northern California, locals call them the ghosts, massive, cunning, and elusive wild boars that have silently ravaged crops, threatening every field and livelihood in their path. Today, we step into the mission to hunt these ghosts, authorized by local authorities, where every footstep could spell danger. Our only goal? Stop them from returning and protect the crops and lives of the people here. After consulting with locals about the terrain, tracks, and times these boars appear, we swiftly put our plan into motion. Every step followed a precise strategy, led by Thomas, moving toward the designated spot. Within minutes of waiting, the target emerged. A perfectly aimed shot brought down the nearly 200-pound giant. For us was more than a victory. It was a mission to protect the community's crops and livelihoods. That opening strike ignited determination in every one of us. We pushed deeper into the forest, the usual haunt of these boars. This time, it wasn't just one, but an entire herd creeping into the fields, ready to wreak their familiar havoc. Yet every move they made was anticipated by our experienced hunters. Gunfire echoed, felling several at once. This is our standard hunting method. But the sheer number of boars this time exceeded expectations, ramping up the tension. Tip came from the forest's edge. It's here! Jenny, the team's sole sharpshooter, immediately acted, determined to stop the threat. As she arrived, the shadowy figure could not escape her long-range sight. Each precise shot secured the target. A few managed to flee, but Jenny stayed confident. Other escape routes had been blocked. The sound of victory quickly signaled the campaign's success. Crops saved and the community safe. Not letting them escape easily, the chase continued, with each target falling in turn. We tracked the remaining signs, but these clever animals always tried to evade. The hunt grew more intense under the scorching sun, testing patience and sharpness. No matter how crafty, ultimately, none escaped the resolve to protect crops and community livelihoods. Keeping spirits high, we knew the fight wasn't over. Many ghosts still lurked. After a short movement, we paused, suddenly spotting entire herds on the move. Only seconds to act, a decisive moment determining the mission's success. Thanks to seamless teamwork, each group of wild boars was swiftly subdued. The area returned to a rare calm, after the storm that minutes ago threatened destruction. As dusk fell, the search never stopped. In the dim light, new targets slowly appeared. With only a few well-placed shots, the Boars couldn't escape fate. Each accurate shot reaffirmed our faith and determination. Now, the locals could breathe easy. The crops were protected and peace restored. Before leaving, we knew the ghosts still existed. But today, they had no chance to destroy the harvest. This wasn't just a victory, it was proof of our responsibility and determination, protecting nature and community from threats that once seemed unstoppable. The vast fertile fields of Louisiana now strain under the destruction of wild boars. These creatures don't just threaten crops, they cost the agricultural economy millions of dollars. Facing this urgent situation, local authorities issued the call to action. Today's hunt isn't just a mission, it's a commitment to protect the lives of the people who call these lands home. As the first light of dawn broke, the team rushed into the Fiat Strada, speeding toward the hotspot. On the way to the field, shadows flashed in the distance, and Jay, the expert driver, instantly predicted their path, giving me the chance to line up the perfect shot. In a split second, all calculations on distance and trajectory aligned, creating an unmissable opportunity. The target fell. We opened the hunt with a decisive victory, a declaration that the crops belong to the people and no enemy will be given a chance. The hunting vehicle tore across the open fields, searching for targets. As predicted, a herd began to infiltrate, aiming to wreak havoc. Jay and I worked seamlessly, firing while maintaining top speed. Shots rang out continuously, but only a few of the leading hefty boars were brought down. These creatures were clever, slipping through every gap to escape. Still, every shot respected local law, an unshakable blend of determination and responsibility. After some distance, I realized the vehicle's noise was frightening the herd, making control difficult. A quick decision was made. We dismounted, weapons in hand and spread out to encircle the field. Within minutes, new targets appeared. A precise long-range shot took down the lead boar, while the rest were cut off from all sides. It was teamwork, skill, and coordination that turned the tide and quickly stopped the destruction. Think this was intense? Hit subscribe and follow our hunts. Suddenly, a critical tip came from the south. Wild boars are flooding in. Jay and I immediately strategized, signaling Kevin to hold the southern line while we drove the herd toward the trap from above. Here it comes! Every squeeze of the trigger echoed through the field, yet the boar tried desperately to escape. No worry, Kevin had perfectly secured the rear. This is how we fight, with cold, precise teamwork, ready for every unexpected twist. In the blink of an eye, Kevin's fortified position paid off. The black figure of the prey appeared, but with a single gunshot, it fell. This is the price for those who dare trespass into territory that's not theirs. Kevin is always entrusted with this task, because he alone guarantees absolute safety for every checkpoint. What do you think about this strategy? Leave your comment below. Evening fell, and the footprints were still visible in the dirt. Were they signs to continue the chase, or traps waiting to strike? With unwavering determination to protect the crops, we pressed on. Every step took us deeper into danger. And then, the shadow appeared. Not a single one escaped. Every shot rang out with unyielding resolve. A promise that no creature would harm this land again. The wild herd would no longer spread fear. Though we knew shadows still lurked, we headed back after a long, exhausting day. This was enough to protect the crops and give the locals peace of mind. In the Fiat Strada, beads of sweat were proof of courage and commitment, fighting for freedom and safety in this land. Thanks to the local authorities for granting permission, making this hunt even more meaningful. The hot wind hit our faces, signaling that a challenging day of hunting had begun. As the truck came to a stop, we immediately caught the faint scent of wild boar in the air. Sure enough, just 2 minutes later, the ground began to tremble. A small herd of boars appeared, showing signs of scouting for the cornfields. The team quickly deployed the target locking strategy. One person locked the left flank, while two others moved in from behind to prevent escape. As they rounded the corner, the opening shot rang out. The largest boar, with its massive frame, fell instantly. If it had made it to the cornfield, it would have been a disaster for the harvest. This kill was a great start, giving the team an energy boost for what lay ahead. After quickly securing the first kill, the team advanced deeper into the hillside. The thermal camera picked up a large herd, with nearly a dozen boars moving in a straight line. If we let this group slip past and into the fields below, the damage would be severe. So, we formed a V-shaped formation, spreading out to break up the herd and prevent them from merging into an uncontrollable mass. When they came into range, the team leader signaled to take out the smaller groups first before the entire herd could rush downhill. As the herd split up, a large adult boar darted toward the back of the hill and disappeared from sight. The team immediately split into two groups, one to monitor the remaining boars, and the other to track the tracks left on the dry earth. The boar ran deep into the rocky edge, but following our cornering strategy, we pushed it toward the flatland, preventing it from running back into the nearby livestock area. When it reappeared in an open area, we took the shot, ensuring that the hillside remained secure. The sun grew more intense, but a strange noise from the brush made the team halt. A lone wild boar was moving from the thicket on the hillside. The hunting dogs immediately rushed forward to maintain a safe distance, not attacking directly, but instead locking onto its movements. Thanks to their assistance, the team quickly gained higher ground, forcing the boar out of the danger zone and taking it down to ensure the safety of the farmland below. As we headed back to the truck to grab some water, a large wild boar suddenly charged directly at the team from the thick brush. Without hesitation, my team leader stepped forward, maintaining a safe distance to avoid a direct confrontation with the massive boar. In this situation, a single misfire could lead to serious injury. When the distance closed to just a couple of meters, my team leader fired, causing the boar to lose its momentum, stumble, and collapse right at his feet. What an amazing shot! Back at the hilltop for one last check, the thermal camera revealed a smaller wild boar, following the scent of food from the farms below. We didn't waste this opportunity. Signaling the team to spread out, we ensured the boar couldn't cross the trail leading down into the fields. Thanks to the higher ground, I quickly locked in on its path and took it down before it could get anywhere near the cornfields. Throughout the journey, we followed strict wildlife management regulations in the United States, with our primary objective being to protect the crops and ensure the safety of the local farmers. Despite the scorching heat and treacherous terrain, the team always prioritized safety and the law. The crops of western U.S. farmers are facing a grave threat. Wild hogs are on the rise, turning fertile fields into battlefields. Barley, corn, potatoes, all are being mercilessly destroyed. Farmers watch their land laid to waste, the fear of losing the harvest heavy on their hearts. But today, the battle is about to end. We are ready to step in, determined to stop the threat right before our eyes. The campaign to restore balance began with precise and coordinated teamwork. 3 groups fanned out to encircle the hillside. Group 1 advanced from the eastern slope, Group 2 from the western slope, while Nick and I lay in ambush atop the ridge, with a full view of the terrain. Thanks to days of setting up hidden cameras, we knew every movement of the wild hogs and quickly took our positions. And then, the beast appeared. Its thick, bristly coat, massive body, weighing up to 200 kilograms. A single gunshot cut through the tense air, signaling the start of the battle to protect livelihoods and ensure the safety of the local community. In front of Thomas, our team's sweep shooter, was a tangle of dense bushes. Within the thickets, he sensed an unusual tremor. Having faced situations like this countless times, he immediately recognized the impending threat. And just as predicted, a large dark shape charged out, each mighty boar following the next in a line. Without hesitation, his rifle spoke. The herd panicked, scattering in every direction. But they didn't realize that ahead, our team was waiting, ready to block their advance. The crops were quickly secured under tight protection. The remaining wild boars, hiding behind a hail of bullets, scrambled in panic. The hunting dogs charged into position, their barks echoing through the air. There they are. Each gunshot rang out like a verdict against the intruders. The dark shapes fell, and the team exhaled in relief. Yet our resolve did not waver. Every shot was not only a warning, but also a fulfillment of our responsibility under the local government's permit, aimed at protecting this land from destruction. The remaining wild boars had only one escape route, the neighboring hillside. We moved quickly, closing the perimeter tightly, leaving no chance for a single one to slip through. The hunting dogs were released, their barks echoing like an irresistible signal. The giant boar had nowhere to run, trapped between 2 sides. A flawlessly executed encirclement strategy. What do you think of this coordination? Share your thoughts below. the tension escalated when a report came in about a wild boar on the run. But John, in charge of Plan B, remained perfectly calm. The moment the signal came through, he was already positioned at the end of the boar's escape route. And then, the decisive moment arrived. It couldn't escape the deadly aim. With razor-sharp precision, John ended the battle, confirming that no threat remained to the farmer's crops. The sun quietly slipped behind the mountain range as we packed up our spoils, preparing to leave. But before departing, the team made one final sweep, ensuring no threat was left behind. Minutes later, a few daring shadows still skulked across the hillside. But this time, they had no chance. Each shot rang out, and another wild boar fell. The battle was over, and the farmer's crops were finally safe. On the way back, I grabbed the iPhone 16 Pro Max and called the villagers. The good news spread instantly, their voices mixing with cheers of relief and joy. Order had been restored, the harvest was secure, and the villagers could finally sleep peacefully, free from the fear of wild boars ravaging their land.